So, you guys ready?
Wait. Does this one?
It's a fashion statement, okay?
All right.
Bro, that was like 2008, man.
Right?
You know.
You don't know how you want to wear it?
All right, no, I give up. All right, you guys ready?
Okay.
I'm ready.
All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh.
Hey, welcome to the Smiling Suffer podcast. Today you have Corey. You guys fixed your names this time, right?
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah, except one person. But let's just do you want to start over? You want to get rid of it, or you don't care?
I don't care.
All right.
I mean, it's fine.
All right. So
a stalker, you know that, right? Now they can see your face. A stalker. They can see your face. They know where you live.
I can black it out.
All
Okay.
right, so let's get started, man. So the opening song, for those that don't know, is this song called Lenu. It's by this new artist called Buju. Obviously, I can't play it because we're not in the studio. I can't wait to get back in the studio, man.
You can play it.
But welcome. It's Corey. On my left today is Danny. Diagonal to me is Black James Bond, and under me is Yeti, who looks like she is in the bushes or something.
Outside.
Oh shit!
It looks like real.
What's his name? What's the name of that guy? The homeless guy.
Who?
The black guy, the homeless guy that gives advice. Dr. Umar. Yeah.
Oh, Dr. Umar.
She's giving us a
Oh, she's in the park.
Dr. Umar impersonation. Yeah,
She's in
outside
his
right
park.
now, man.
I'm in the park. I went for a walk yesterday. There's a trail by my parents' house.
Yeah.
That's where I was yesterday with my dog. So I took a picture of the trees. There was an owl, huge one. So I took a picture.
Really?
Yeah.
I wonder if the owl being there has something to do with no one being around, because I don't really see
No,
owls.
they live there. It's two of them. They apparently
made friends
they
with them?
moved. Huh?
You made friends with them?
No, because they can eat dogs. Well, little dogs. Like some guy warned me. He was like, there are 2 owls in here, and they're huge, and they take little animals, and she's 6 pounds, so they can grab her. So I had to put her back on the
You don't wanna
leash.
take that
I
risk.
know.
That's scary.
You definitely
Mm-hmm.
don't want to take that risk.
The heck?
So,
Yeah, I know. It was
but like I was
scary.
saying earlier, the intro song is by this kid called Buju, featuring Burna Boy. And I don't know, Wale, do you know anything about this Buju guy?
Yeah, owls can actually eat dogs. It's crazy. I like to see
Yeah, it's a little animal. And animals.
I'm curious to see how that would work. You know,
No, we're not curious.
Probably
how that works.
tears him up from the neck
No.
or something.
I know. I think is it gonna. Anyways. Before Peter calls me now, Buju. He's an upcoming guy.
Songwriter, right?
Huh?
He's a new songwriter. Like, I think he writes songs for people.
New in like as I think a year or 2 ago. You know, I did premiere some of his songs last year.
Yeah, you did.
You said Buju, like Buju Banton?
Yeah.
Oh.
He's born in Lagos. Trying to read his bio. Yeah, I did play some songs last year. He had that one song, Energy. Then he had the song with Zlatan called Spiritual. He was also on this Corey guy is fake, man. Because like I remember playing the
album too.
I Show Them Camp when I was the Show Them Camp song, which is on the playlist.
Nice.
Featuring Buju. And Corey's like, oh, I don't want to hear all this stuff.
I don't know the playlist. The Smiling Supper playlist is on Apple Music now.
Yeah, I don't want to hear this guy. What's all this? And then now
I don't remember ever saying that.
it's on the
Carry on.
go check. There are 3 of his. So you only put 2 on there, but there are 3 of his songs should be on the podcast because I premiered 3 of his songs already. But you know, Chris, but now you know, look at you now, trying to do a bio on him, man.
Well, the reason why I brought him up is
He's an
because
upcoming guy. He's signed to Burna Boy.
He's signed to Burna Boy.
Signed to Burna Boy, yes.
Oh, wow.
Makes sense. That makes
Burna
sense.
finding people now?
Burna Boy's first artist.
Wait, so what's the name of Burna Boy's label?
Spaceship Records.
Okay, so that would explain the video that they did. So they did a video of this song that I played in the beginning of Lenu, and Burna Boy is on the remix, and he's in the video, and they were like really buddy in the video. So I was like, that's interesting, but that makes sense now.
Yeah, so Burna
Interesting.
signed him recently, and this is their first ever official collab. In fact, the video was dropped on Burna's record label on the Spaceship account, not Buju's account. I don't know if he has one, but he has about probably like his own songs with no one else on it, maybe one or two. But he has about like maybe 10 songs out there so far, and his voice is unique. It's very high pitched,
What
light.
album is this?
What?
I'm sorry, I missed the name of the album.
The name of the guy is called Buju.
No, the album.
It doesn't have an album.
I think he's
oh,
good.
No, the album I was talking about
artist.
was Show Them Camp, STC. So he featured on a track. I forget what the song is called.
Do Me Nice.
Do Me Nice, yeah. Do Me
Do Me
Nice.
Nice.
That's Show Them Camp's album. So he featured on it.
But the reason why I brought him up is because he seems like one of those artists to look out for. I don't know if he's gonna pop. The Leno song is kind of nice. I like it. I really enjoy the song.
I didn't think it needed a remix, but I figured, I guess, with the whole, that was the easiest way to introduce them together. I guess Burna just felt it's a nice enough song where we can push it further if we have a remix with me and then the video, because the song doesn't have a video. There's also songs whose face is just trying to get out there, because you hear his songs, you might not know what you can't really picture him looking like what he sounds like in a way until you see him, like, okay, yeah, I can see it, you know. And
do you know how old he is?
I'm not sure. He'll probably be,
He looks young.
you know,
He looks pretty young. Early 20s, most likely.
Buju? What?
Buju. You
was
ever heard of
older than
Buju
that.
dancing? You ever heard of Buju dancing?
Old.
Yeah, but I think he took the first name. He's just Buju.
Oh, okay. This is not the same person.
No.
Yeah, but speaking of Burna, Burna was recently he broke some record, right? That had to do with
he played
the most Shazammed artist.
One what's that thing called? One World Global.
Yeah.
What's that thing called?
Global whatever. Yeah.
The song he's saying "Sitting Down." Is that the one?
Global Citizens.
Yeah, we should probably get it right. Global Citizen. It was one of these charity fundraising.
So last year they did it big. They did it in South Africa last year because of I think the theme was all Mandela and stuff like that. And they had everybody, you know. I mean, Jay and Beyonce. Well, Beyonce closed out the show. It was a whole day festival. They had Nigerian artists that were Wizkid, Femi Kuti, I think, D'banj, and Tiwa Savage, I think. But this year they did the same thing, but because everyone's home, you got to sit at home. So everyone had an in-house performance thing, and Burna was our only Nigerian artist, I think, there this year. Yeah, and he performed.
To be the most Shazammed artist.
He performed
lineup.
2 songs. He performed "Here Comes the African Giant," and he kind of made it into spirit. And he made it into a track on Spotify, actually. But what happened was a lot of people, because I was watching it and they could comment, is when he started performing. He's a very good performer. I tell you guys, it's probably the best we have. And, you know, even though he was lip syncing sometimes, he was still singing along. But a lot of people kept saying, who's this guy? Who's this guy? Who's this guy? And it turns out he ended up being the most Shazam person that night. Everyone started looking for his music. So kudos to him with that.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
that was pretty nice. I did think he could have done a better job in terms of his performance, and that he was sitting down throughout his whole performance.
Yeah, but he picked 2 songs that didn't require him to do much. You know, it was more about the songs. You know,
perhaps
African Giants and spiritual for just the times we're in, and it was a good. I liked it. I'm a big fan, obviously, but I think he did a decent job.
While we're on music, did anyone catch the Teddy Riley Babyface stream?
Yes.
Yes.
That mess.
I tried to see it the first time.
The first one or the second one, right?
The second one. The first one we talked about. The first one, right? I'm not sure if we talked about it, but for those that don't know, the first one crashed pretty much. They got up there, and Teddy Riley had all these, like a whole band. He was basically doing too much. He had a whole film crew.
How many do they have?
He had a whole Coachella stage.
So how many have they done? How many times have
He
they?
did. He did. He had a whole. How many did they? What?
How many times have they tried to do this? Or have they
So
done
the first time, Babyface was sick.
Okay.
He had corona, so they couldn't do it. The second time, Teddy Riley was echoing like he was in a cave or something. And then this third time, it worked for the most part until the end. Because, Instagram caps you at an hour.
Yeah. So the third
So
time,
the first hour, the third time was a charm, basically. So the first hour,
but it didn't work.
it was good for the most part. And then the second hour was good too until, for some reason, Teddy Riley's, he was a mess the whole time. His phone was dying.
Yeah.
So he was looking for chargers, going back and forth, getting up and all that.
He had a dancer there, like doing all these.
That was the second time. Some hype guy, Byron or whatever his name was.
Yeah.
It was so funny. I was dying, but it was fun.
The internet clowned his ass. But I guess the third time was when they got it right. This time he didn't have all the bells and whistles. He didn't have the whole band.
Nope.
They were just in the studio.
And that's how it's been. Every time they've had this versus thing, it's usually the person and their computer. And that's it. You want to bring a whole band.
Songs, man.
I feel like that's fair.
Huh?
I feel like that's fair.
Why? How is that fair? Why are you
basics?
Why are you trying to monetize on for the Instagram live thing?
No. I just mean for the basics.
Someone said he's a Harlem nigga. Someone said he's a Harlem nigga. That the Harlem dudes, they like doing too much. They always
do off
everything.
Right? Yeah, that's what
apparently he was trying to get a deal off it. Like he was trying to get paid.
Yeah. So what happened was the second time he had a whole camera crew. It was streaming it on his website, trying to monetize off of it. He's trying to actually make money.
Oh, well, I mean, isn't everybody else trying to monetize this?
No, everybody else has been just doing Instagram Live with the computer, and that's it. Because
I think some people are.
Lil Jon had one. Who else has had one? There's been a bunch of people that have had stuff done.
Neo
and just in their house.
Neo and Jonta Austin had
one
battle. The Dream and Sean Garrett.
Sean Garrett had one too, yeah. And they were all in their house.
These are legendary songwriters with hits. Like there were some hits that were playing. I was just like, what? But the most popular so far has been Teddy Riley and Babyface. I think they hit over. Yeah, they hit over 500,000.
Apparently, it was 4 million people trying to get on, but Instagram crashed. Yeah.
Apparently, the internet crashed at one point or something. I heard.
Yep. But, a lot of people couldn't get in on their phone. You had to get in on your laptop. It was that crowded.
I don't know nothing about these niggas.
I tried to watch it, man. It was not really my thing.
Because you're too young. You were maybe when these songs were coming out.
Doesn't even matter.
We were too young too.
Doesn't matter.
But these are classics.
I can't speak for Danny because
to be honest,
I don't know how. It's been a secret this whole time.
That's the secret. So let me before we move on to Danny. That's you got to do better, man. The age thing is kind of played out. But
it is. That's why you didn't like it so much. Couldn't relate to the song.
There are a lot of songs I can play for you that you might have never heard before, and they came out when you were a teenager. So it really doesn't matter, or
Even we were young. The Babyface era.
Baby too, but
your parents played it probably, right?
Right, exactly.
That's right.
Well, I wouldn't say my parents. My parents are a little older than that.
Even if you come
but my older brother, my older brother was.
Give me an example. Like, who would you say a new age version of either one would be, like in the last 15, 20 years?
A new age Babyface would be. I don't know.
Is it Usher? Like,
that's a good one. Neo. No. Well, no.
Neo, because I listen to their music. You can't say Neo. You can't say Usher.
Usher isn't really
Why
known
don't Neo?
No, the thing
Neo's a writer though. Neo's a songwriter.
Yeah.
Neo.
So yeah, I would say Neo.
We're talking about writing, style of music.
Oh, I mean, but that back in the day though, that was
exactly. It's not my vibe.
Okay.
And, there are a lot of other people in their era that.
What's a different vibe?
Huh?
Sorry, go ahead.
But
it's R&B though. All the songs Babyface wrote
there are a lot of songs
mostly
that
like classic R&B songs.
Yeah, I don't fuck with classic R&B.
Cause all right, that's fine.
My R&B is 112, man. Did you get?
That's as far back as you're going. It's
That's
112.
but that's my R&B vibe. Is
Oh.
is Peaches and Cream. You know, like that's my kind of R&B. You
Speaking
know,
of,
then
did
wine.
you
You
hear
know,
they're not
that's
trying to
that's
do?
me.
Speaking
So,
of 112, they're trying to do Puff and Dr. Dre.
Dr. Dre, yeah. So you
That
know, I
would be
looked them up.
awesome.
I
That
saw
would be
Corey retweeted
That's gonna
crazy.
be epic.
Corey, you retweeted like one of the performances, and I think was it Teddy Riley's performance in his suit or something like that recent today?
Teddy, oh, I don't remember.
You did retweet
Teddy
something.
Riley?
You were talking about his suit or the flash, the.
Oh no, that was Teddy Pendergrass. That was Teddy
Teddy
Pendergrass.
Pendergrass.
That was Teddy
What
Pendergrass. It was
But-
this video. It was this video. I'm telling you guys. I'll probably play the clip. It was
I
this
like the
video.
swag of that.
The way,
But
did you see his swag?
like-
The
I
way
saw the
he
swag,
walked
yeah.
in the room, he wasn't doing the extra stuff.
But
You know how all these
I looked
artists
them up.
come
I saw
out
a
with
lot
their
of
shirts off. He just came out with his suits. He just walked up to the front.
yeah. Someone said the
and
way
just,
he was walking.
He just
was-
started busting notes.
But
Yeah,
I looked at every their you know discography and stuff like that. And you know they're very impactful people. Everyone talked about it, but like I said, I'm very into music. But I was like, you know what? I've seen some of the songs, I've heard it, but it's not my. I'm not going to play it in my house. It's not something I'm going to hear and be like, that's my jam. So
You know, because music is
kudos to them.
subjective.
You know,
Music
kudos to
is
them.
subjective.
Everybody who's hyped it up. I hope you guys did really
I
like
still
it.
think it has to do with age though, because like Babyface.
But I see people younger than me on Twitter sucking the whole vibe of, oh my
Because
God,
their
my
parents
phone
probably played it when they were younger.
Okay, so how does it
That's
have
all
to
it
do with
is.
age at
Their
that
parents
point?
played it. They're accustomed to it.
Their parents.
Right.
The
So
thing about those
Oh, when
guys,
they find out
their
bumping
songs
in
have
their house.
spanned several generations. So clearly, they're gonna have
Yeah,
more
so
people
I
that
mean,
are familiar
we're
with
talking
this.
about age. Come on, man. Kids that were born 5 years ago know MJ songs.
But MJ is a different
MJ's
story though.
MJ's
And he
unique,
played
I would say.
MJ. Teddy Riley wrote a bunch of
People
MJ
know,
songs.
people know.
And
people
Babyface
He
know.
too.
He wrote. Do you?
I know more
remember
James
the
Brown songs than I
time? Did
know
you know that?
Female too.
Did you know that, Yeti?
Yeah.
He wrote like he. I was surprised at some of Teddy Riley's songs. I'm like, I had no
Really?
idea he wrote that. Yeah, there were some of them I was surprised. There were a lot of them that I knew about already. I mean, these guys pretty much inspired the entire sound, like between the 80s and the 90s. And then you also
Yeah.
had other songwriters and producers like Jimmy Jam. What was that guy?
And Terry Lewis.
Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis.
Yeah.
You had a bunch of them, and those guys pretty much they dominated that whole 80s 90s sound. Teddy Riley was supposed to be like the younger, hipper with the hip hop influence.
Like the
Babyface,
Blackstreets of the world and all them. Yep.
Babyface was more like Tony
Houston,
Braxton, the slow ballads.
Even though Teddy Riley actually wrote a bunch of Tony Braxton songs too. I was surprised about that. I didn't know that.
He wrote a bunch of Bobby Brown songs
together for a while.
Yeah, I did not know that.
He wrote a bunch of Bobby Brown songs too.
Yes, New Edition.
And you know what? Teddy Riley even wrote songs as early as 2000, like a couple hits. And there was some that they played, but I don't remember which ones they were again.
Well, you said he wrote for who? But I would tell you that just back to Yeti's stuff is I would tell you that I know more Boyz II Men songs. So you say MJ is different. How do you compare that? I know more.
I feel like MJ is a different class,
wrote a bunch of Boyz II Men songs too. Jimmy Jam, those guys.
It's not about at that point, it's about what you fuck with. Because if you play me their music today, I'm gonna be like, you know what, cool, but this is not my shit. When you put on a Boyz II Men shit, I'm like, okay, I fuck with this. So it's really, really, really is down. Now you might mention some songs I probably know they probably wrote. You know, I don't know who writes some of these things, you know, but it's just not my. I literally tried because everyone is trying to get into this, and I Googled. I was like, yeah,
no, it's subjective. It's subjective.
It's subjective. I probably heard this. I was like, nah, this is not my style.
Yeah,
and kudos to them. They seem like they're like the guys in the industry, and I respect that. I try to watch it because of that. My phone didn't load, and I was like, yeah, it's not worth it for me to go back. So
yeah, it was that at that point you can only watch it on your laptop or your iPad because the phones were crashing.
That I had with that right there. So
any other updates in music? Wale, anything in Afrobeat?
Nah, no updates.
Nothing. All right, I want to move on.
So you know what Babyface's new nickname is now?
What?
Shady Face. He was so shady. Did you watch Danny?
I saw clips of it.
He was so shady.
He kept having this look on his face like, I'm about to go to sleep.
Not
Like,
even that. Some of his comments. So Ted Riley played a remix. I forgot what song it was. He was like, "Oh, I didn't know we could do remixes. That's what we're doing now, remixes." And Ted was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" And he was like, "Well, I wouldn't know. I don't do remixes." I was like, "Oh."
Now, do you guys think this thing is starting to get played out though?
No, I mean, we're bored. We're home. What are we doing?
the battles.
The
Let's
battle.
talk about it. Let's
I
talk.
mean,
Wait.
Well, wait a
I'm
minute. There's
hearing-
supposed to be well, it may not happen, but what about the French Montana?
That was just him.
Yeah, you know, French Montana, and then
that's
I'm
not gonna happen.
hearing,
Against Kendrick.
You wouldn't want to see.
Really?
I'm hearing
Well,
Lil
no, I think
Romeo,
it's
Bow
possible.
Wow. It's come on,
But
man.
Oh, the Bow Wow, Little Romeo.
Yeah,
Look,
come on, man.
But you can't compare French Montana to Kendrick though. Those are
Some
not
people
even.
can actually,
no, but I was
because some can
was
argue
impressed with
that
the fact
some
he
can
even called
argue,
him out.
but some can argue that French Montana actually has bigger hits,
Well,
global
but
hits.
Kendrick is not one of those artists, though.
But
He's a writer.
the
like,
point
it's a
of, but the
different
point
type of-
of them going to battle is not pen game. It's if they're talking about hits for hit.
But Kendrick doesn't have that many hits, though.
Exactly. So
Hasn't
French
been out
Montana
yet.
does know that he's going to win that battle. Off the
But that's
bat,
not
a
why
lot
we
of
like
people are going to
Kendrick,
say
though. We don't
no
like Kendrick for
because
his
Kendrick
hits.
has a better, more intellectual pen game. But when you come to hits, Unforgettable beats any song Kendrick
Right,
can
right.
put out
But
there.
what I'm saying is, we
Oh,
don't like
I can name some
Kendrick.
Kendrick songs.
But we don't like
Unforgettable,
Kendrick for his
Damn.
hits, though.
Damn
We
was a
like
bigger
Kendrick for his
song.
talent and his
damn
mind.
is not a bigger song than Unforgettable, man.
Are you sure?
Then what's the one
Yeah,
French
I
had
would
with
say
Rick
Unforgettable
Ross?
is
What's
probably
that
bigger.
song?
Yeah, I agree.
Nah, Unforgettable
Don't stop, pop that, don't stop.
yeah, dude.
Yeah.
French
Different
has
song,
hits.
different music.
Right, but we don't even like Kendrick for his hits, quote unquote. Like
But
Kendrick
Lyrics,
is
right?
exactly.
No,
But
we have
here's
to
how the
make a
battle's gonna
distinction.
go.
We have
The
to make a
battle's gonna
distinction.
stream to 500,000 people worldwide, and they're gonna play Damn, and they're gonna play Unforgettable. And I tell you, more people will rock with Unforgettable than Damn
Right.
because they
So
know
let
I
me,
there's
so,
too
agree.
many
so let me
people.
point
I
something
agree.
out. Unforgettable is the only song that French Montana can brag that was like a worldwide
No,
hit.
let me
No.
find it.
A
I don't think so.
worldwide hit.
I
Worldwide
don't think
pop,
so,
so.
Corey.
pop
No.
hit.
The
Pop
one I
hit. I'm
just
not-
told you now
I'm not
with
talking about
That's
rap
what you said
records
about
now.
Beyonce too.
You know, I follow billboards. I'm not talking about rapper. I'm talking about pop hit. Unforgettable was a pop hit all over the
Dude,
world.
Corey, Pop That is a hit.
Yeah, but it wasn't a pop hit.
Yeah.
It was more of a hit within like the rap scene.
No stylist, dude.
that was an awful
Same
song. But it was
thing. Those were
popular.
all hip hop. Those were all hip hop
Okay.
top tens.
Okay, so let me.
But Kendrick has more songs that have crossed over.
on. So French actually released a list of all his hits. Number one is Shot Caller. What's that? I don't remember that one.
It was a
I
hit
don't remember that one.
within the rap community. I know it. I know the song.
Yeah.
I'm a shot caller.
I think that was maybe one
I
of
know
the
the
And then
song.
early
Ain't
songs.
Worry
Oh.
About.
Ain't worried about
Ain't
nothing.
worried
Okay, so
about
number
yeah.
two
Yeah,
is
that was a
Ain't
good
Worry
one,
About.
Again,
And then
that
number-
was a rap record. It
Okay,
wasn't-
so tell me
it wasn't a
the
rap
record.
Kendrick songs you would think.
It's a hit.
Damn,
Uh-huh.
damn. The one that he released with Rihanna. I'm dying.
What?
The
Oh,
one he
Loyal.
yeah,
Loyal.
loyal.
Okay,
Something
okay.
Loyal.
That was
Yeah.
a
No,
hit.
to be honest, he actually does have. He has Humble. He has DNA.
Yeah, he has humble. Like almost all the records on Damn were like worldwide hits. He
Okay,
had
so
even before that first record on his Good Kid, Mad City. Remember he had that song.
Yeah.
He had
yeah.
that hit record. I got loyalty and loyalty inside. Oh, sorry.
Oh,
That was
yeah.
DNA.
What are you-
That was DNA. But he had that record with Drake. With Drake.
Oh well, yeah.
Off Good
Okay, so
Kid,
let me
Mad
read
City.
all the ones French listed. Don't Panic, Pop That, These Hoes Ain't Loyal, All the Way Up, No Shopping. I don't know No Shopping.
No,
What's
no,
no?
no. He came out around. Is it Drake also?
They're all rap records.
Yeah.
And that's
No
what I'm saying. You
shopping.
can't really, I don't think it's fair
Stay,
to
There's no
put them
shopping.
together.
There's no
oh,
stylist.
Stay
no.
Scheming. What's
Stay
Stay Scheming?
scheming.
That was
Niggas
a
trying to
hit.
get
That
at
was also a
me.
rap.
Okay, I know that.
I
club
rap for my
record.
niggas, yo. Yeah.
He has club
Oh,
records.
something called Lockjaw. What's Lockjaw?
I don't remember that one either.
Skimming. Man,
I know.
forgot about
Again,
Stay
it
Skimming,
was.
man.
They're more.
Well,
like,
Stay Skimming
hip-hop.
is a Rick Ross song. So
So a lot of his stuff are
He was
Is
just
he-
featured
is
on
he
it.
pulling out feature songs he was featured on? Then at that
Well,
point,
he's listened to everything apparently that he was on.
yeah,
Then
but I do think
Sanctuary. What Sanctuary?
I don't know
I
Sanctuary.
feel like I know that song. I think
And
that was a
then
good one.
Chopper Down.
It's all rap. Yeah. I see
No
what you're saying.
stylists.
I see what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying? They're all rap
Yeah,
records.
they're all
They
rap
were
records,
big
yeah.
within the rap industry, but they weren't necessarily pop records. The only pop song that blew was Unforgettable. That was
Yeah.
undisputable.
But to be honest, I will give Francis props. You look at him on the surface and I think he's a B-list, C-list guy, but he actually has been able to give us records. Actually,
He also happens to be Moroccan too.
Yeah.
He's our fellow African northern.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they didn't like when he went there and he said they were trying to kill him and it was poisoned or some bullshit.
I remember he went up there and he got sick.
Yeah,
right
so
before
he said
we
it
went
was
to Morocco.
poisoned. Yeah,
And I was scared to eat in
Correct. He's
Morocco.
talking about they poisoned him. Nigga, ain't nobody care about you.
Yeah, but we should move on.
Think
I want
about
to
you,
talk
man.
about this. This is like the big topic I want to bring up is the Jordan documentary. So
Oh,
for those that
was
don't know,
good.
on ESPN.
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah. Oh,
I
you
thought
haven't seen
is
it?
it on Netflix?
No,
No.
it's on ESPN.
ESPN.
Yes,
It's on ESPN. Okay, so I won't ruin anything for you, but let me just give you like a preview of what they're showing. They're giving us it's called The Last Dance, and it's pretty much chronicling when Jordan got in the NBA until his very last game in the NBA, from like I think that was 1997/1998
Yep.
NBA season. And you know, this guy is great, man. Like he's almost bigger than life. Like the way they talk about him, he had 2 presidents on this documentary, and they didn't even introduce them as presidents. They introduced Obama as former Chicago resident. They introduced Bill Clinton as former Arkansas governor, and I think they did that on purpose to show how bigger than life this guy was. This guy was everyone's hero, to the point that there's a phrase called "he's the Michael Jordan of."
Yeah.
He's the Michael Jordan of baseball. He's the Michael Jordan of music. He's the Michael Jordan of the rap game. I mean, his name has become synonymous to greatness.
Yeah.
But this documentary, I think, is going a little bit into the personal, because not a lot of people. He's a very, very. Have you noticed he's not a figure that's very out there like that.
Yeah.
Even though he's making billions of dollars. I mean, his Jordan brand is worth over $3 billion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nike brand, the Nike shoe brand, is worth like 1 point something billion. Like, just to put it in perspective, like his shoes have sold way more than Nike. Like, that's how big of a figure he is. And
he's Michael Jordan.
He's worth billions of dollars, but then there's something to the madness, man. There's something to this man. There's a dark side that I feel like this documentary is slowly getting into. And there have been rumors out there, and I'm going to throw some of those rumors that have been out there, like a little dark side. And someone else brought this up, so don't put this on me. The person is on the screen, probably on my left, but the person brought it up. And the person claimed, no, I thought it was Danny that brought it up.
Oh, okay.
Was it Wale that brought it up on the text?
Let's say it was Danny.
Not
really sure where this is going, but it was me. It was me.
It was Wale. Okay, all right, it was Wale.
Let me say the rumor before you misquote me, because that nigga, somebody that
want to yell something out.
Fuck them kids, you know. I don't know how that nigga gonna do with me if he sees this.
Powerful.
But
he has vices.
They
definitely
has
vices.
If you look at the interviews of some guy called Michael Franzese, who's his father was an underboss in the mafia, and he also worked for the Colombo family back in the days. So like, he's an actual mafia guy. And he spoke about how they were into stuff like how they used to basically the mafia controlled everything. One of the things they controlled was sports betting at the time, and a lot of people used to throw away games because they were old bookies. They weren't making as much money as they were now. So like, you know, a lot of drug guys even back then too, they had the opportunity of playing basketball, but when you hear how much they were making, they were like, what the hell, that's too small. They weren't making a lot of money. And they had gambling issues. So a lot of them will go to loan sharks, borrow money, and there's a rumor from him that MJ owed some people money,
Yep.
and that's part.
He had this serious gambling problem, and then his father gets murdered. And there was always speculation if one had something to do with the other. From what you know,
Again, I don't have firsthand knowledge of this, but being that I was working with the NBA at that time, I was told two things. One, that he was told to leave the NBA around the time that his father got murdered because stories were about to come out, and there was a lot of heat on the fact that because of Michael's gambling habit, his father paid the price. And the NBA didn't want the press, so they asked him to leave for a while. And that's when he went to play baseball. And then when things settled down, he came back. The plan was always, from what I was told, for him to come back. Now, again, I heard this from a source I believe was pretty knowledgeable, somebody I knew pretty well inside the NBA. So for me, it's secondhand information, but I thought it was reliable. And then putting it all together, knowing that, Michael did have this gambling issue, that it's very possible that that could have happened.
so you're saying there's a strong possibility that his father was murdered because he wasn't paying back his gambling debts.
I don't know. Again, I can't be specific. I don't know if it wasn't paying back. I don't know what, again, the specifics of it were, but I was led to believe that it had something to do with his gambling problem.
Okay.
Exactly what, I don't know. And honestly, I didn't care enough to look into it.
Okay. Well, and the guys who killed him got caught and sentenced.
From what I heard, yeah.
He doesn't say he was involved
All
in it,
alleged.
but
All
it's an
alleged.
alleged rumor, and he also says the gambling debts also probably played an issue to why he left basketball.
Yes.
Went to
So
baseball.
for those that don't know, this is well documented. MJ is known to gamble a
Yeah.
lot. And they said that it wasn't just like casino gambling. Like he will gamble on like dumb stuff. Like he will gamble
Yeah.
in the locker room, he'll gamble on golf. Like pretty much he turned everything into a bet. That's how competitive this guy was.
And since he was been in the NBA, it's hard for him to. So they said the gambling, they used to have them throw games, but when you're in the top league, it's kind of hard for you to throw a game because they will notice.
About Jordan, if you
So-
watch
Yeah.
the documentary, and I'm sure Yeti can attest to this, Jordan never threw any game.
Exactly. So he probably couldn't do it to pay back.
Game.
Do you get?
Even when his team was trying to tank so that they could
He
get
still,
a good lottery pick, he used to be pissed. Like,
So that's
how obsessed you have to be with winning. That this guy had like a tear, right? Do you remember what kind of injury it was? He had like a really, really bad.
No, he broke his leg.
He broke. Yeah, he pretty much broke his ankle or something. And
It
he wasn't
was the shin bone he broke.
Yeah, he wasn't supposed to play the entire season. This guy went. He went to his local gym, and he first started playing
Behind
one-on-ones.
the team's back.
Behind the teams, but he started playing one-on-ones. He progressed to 2-on-2s until he started playing 5-on-5s, and then he went back to the team and he was like, "Look, I've started playing 5-on-5. I'm ready to play." Like that's how competitive. I don't know anyone in sports that is as competitive as this dude. The only person
I mean, obviously, he has the ethic.
maybe Kobe, but
And that's
No,
who
come
Kobe
on.
modeled his game after.
You're talking about in basketball. We have other sports. You have Ronaldo,
perhaps.
soccer. These
But
people
that's
are.
who Kobe
Ronaldo
modeled
is obsessive
his
too.
game
Ronaldo is
after.
obsessive. If you
He's
talk about his
obsessive.
ethic, a lot of people tell you, he's one of the most hardworking people, spend hours. Like even his teammates would tell you, and it's just sidetracked, that they hate going to his house because what you eat in his house is healthy diet food, and then after you eat, you go work out. So like they'll tell you they don't even like to go visit him because on their off day, you go visit him, you're going to eat a very strict meal and then go work out. It's like, guy, I'm on my off day now. So, there are players like that around. Looks like MJ was one of them. But
Yeah.
gambling
So
thing-
continue the gambling stuff.
yeah, so he said, in the NBA, it's hard for people to throw away games and stuff like that. So I guess maybe he couldn't pay back. But then, I guess whoever he took the loan out from to teach him a lesson, his dad was shot, right? He was murdered.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they said, it probably was them who did that to his dad, and him leaving the NBA to go to MLB was probably like a deal also done because of they also
For those that don't know, there was a time MJ took a break from basketball, and he took a break from basketball at the peak of his first
Yep. And
three-peat
went to
run.
baseball.
And he went to baseball. And the rumor is that the league caught him
The
gambling,
league,
and but
yes. So
he was too big of a figure at the time. I mean, the guy was probably the biggest name in the world.
they probably felt
The only name
let's take you away
that
for a little while and bring
yeah,
you
the,
back.
the only name that could come close to his at the time was the other MJ, Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson,
Okay.
and I think they tried to take him out, and then I guess they brought him back because look, there's no way they were gonna
Yeah, so they said
sell him.
he claims the league probably knew about, and you should see his interview. It was on Vlad TV, Michael Franzese, and he's been talking a lot about, a lot of stuff he's done, how he duped the government and stuff, how the government stole his money and they haven't returned it and stuff like that. And, but he does talk about the gambling and how they actually owned, like when I mean owned, it didn't mean they didn't physically own it, but they had like 2 New York based teams on their payroll, but he wouldn't say what sport it is and what teams it is,
Wow.
but like they had them on their payroll,
There is something to be said about these figures that are so competitive and that are
so Jordan was apparently, he said this documentary is gonna make people hate him.
people already, fuck them kids, man.
So apparently they've been sitting on this documentary for
But
Right.
let me
now.
pull a Corey for the people who don't know what "fuck them kids" is referring to. Refers to when Jordan played against a bunch of kids, and did he play against them? I think. And basically, if he lost, whatever it was, I think it was a shooting competition or a dunk, whatever it was, if he lost, the kids would get free Jordans, and he didn't lose. And they said he murmured, "Fuck them kids."
There's one story of him and Iverson. I think Iverson was like, Iverson was one of my favorite players now. But anyway, Iverson was Jordan was Iverson's idol, and I think Iverson got a chance to play with him at one point, and they started talking smack. And by the time the game was done, MJ was like, "Yeah, that's right, you little bitch." And then Iverson was like, "Wait, this is my idol. Like, what the heck?" I think there's something to be said about personalities like that, and I don't know what it is, but whenever there's someone that's like extra great at something, there's always this dark side, and I don't know. And the same thing goes with even billionaires.
Yeah.
People like you hear about people like
Steve Jobs,
who had this dark side.
Yeah, I mean, you don't get to where you are without being a shrewd business person.
You have to be what they call that thing,
without stomping on some heads too. Probably type A or something.
Type A personality.
You gotta, yeah.
There's just something about that
you don't become a billionaire by being friends with everybody.
No, you don't. You don't.
Yeah,
You gotta
that's what makes you stand out. So you have to have things that drive. I mean, Kobe was that same way too. R.I.P. my man Kobe.
Michael Jackson was the same way too. You can
argue. Kobe is the first person you find in the gym. And you're thinking, this guy, what's going on? You already won it all, but
they said the same thing about Oprah. Like, you don't become as great as you are at the top of your field by being nice. That's just how it is.
About Oprah? I wonder what they have to say.
I wonder. Maybe she was the first person. Maybe she's always writing.
Beyonce too. She's at the top of her craft, and there's something to be said about.
Corey wants to get somewhere. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
There's something to be said about that level of.
Okay, let me use, since we're in sports. I'm sure Serena is probably that way too.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, she's probably that way
to an extent.
Probably to an extent, she probably is. Where
they probably just keep their circles really small.
Yeah,
right.
I mean,
and so people just take that as off-putting because they assume that you should be welcoming to them.
I mean,
that's not the case all the time.
Ethics, drive, because you can, and that's the reason why. How many rings does Jordan have?
6,
7, 6.
Yeah,
I think
6, and then Kobe has 5. There's a reason why them two have. We talk about soccer too. Ronaldo and Messi have the most Ballon d'Ors. You talk about tennis, Serena. There's a reason why. I mean, in sports, not everyone, but it seems like a lot of people can play basketball. But what differentiates them is the mentality.
Right.
Yep. Is there someone you can think of, and this is just a side note? Is there someone you can think of within the Afrobeat world that's type A like that? That has excelled and is just like a workaholic. Is there anyone you can think of, Wale?
Well, we are seeing that trait in Burna now, but people would say they call him an asshole, but I think he's knowing his worth. I think even in the last year and 2 years, he's slowed down. I think Wiz would be put in that category.
Yeah, Wiz, and then Wiz is also very mysterious
He's a
character.
mysterious person.
He doesn't really put himself out
I
there.
sent you the video where he hopped on some other Nigerian celebrity's Instagram live, and it was like they were seeing a celebrity. That's how it felt to them.
Oh, they all went nuts.
They were all went
I'll
nuts.
play the
It's
video.
the same way Drake hops on someone's IG live and everyone's like, and
Wiz commands so much respect.
Yeah, you command, and you don't get there too by just being, because they all have talents. But you got to just know how to place yourself, how to do your stuff, and work hard, man. Nothing is given; it's all earned.
Like after watching the MJ documentary, I got a little bit of motivation. Like you just want to.
You should. That's how I felt watching every Kobe documentary I ever seen. I just wanted to just go do stuff, man.
Vicious with their level of commitment and dedication.
Yeah,
but
you need it.
We should probably move on to another topic now. Let's go on to this current lockdown, man. How you guys coping right now?
I don't know about you guys, but I'm catching flights right now, man.
Obviously, everyone's been going out. You've been walking your dog.
Everyone, some people don't stay home. Don't stay home. In this
I've been out.
People don't stay home. There you go.
I've been out on my trail.
Are you guys even
enjoying my life?
Are you guys trying to, respect the lockdowns?
Of course.
I am.
I took a ride today, but I had to though. Like I had to drive somewhere today.
Respect it in what sense?
Like
it's supposed to be social distancing. If I'm out at the park by myself, I'm not around anyone else.
But you're also
supposed to be.
You're supposed to be.
Are you wearing your mask at the park?
We have to. Well, not at the park. Today, when I took my walk, I did not have my mask on, but I did when I went to the store because it's required.
But at the parks as well, you know that. You should. Because it lingers in the air.
I can't breathe.
It lingers in the air.
For how long? For how many hours?
She's telling you guys that she's only here for a good time.
Last I heard from what I was reading,
not a long time.
It can last up to 3 hours in the air.
Hey man, something must kill him, man.
And then I heard something else. You can enter your eyes now. Like what the heck?
But because your eyes are membranes, though, so your eyes, your nose, your mouth.
Heck, man.
Then that's why they've
been saying don't touch your face.
There was a post that said something about farts particles or something like that. I'm serious. And then someone was like, man, this shit is really streaming on all platforms. It's everywhere, man. Yo, everywhere.
I don't know about farts, but
they said that's why people. They said that's why those people who licked the little excretion, whatever, people who lick like the toilet.
No, but that's an orifice in your body now. So if you're having sex with a person that has it,
people who lick the toilet.
Is that what you're describing?
It's a sexually transmittable disease. Corona is a sexually.
All platforms, my
Get
guy.
out of here.
Streaming on all platforms.
So you can get it from. So that's what I've heard or I've read. Sex. If you touch your eyes, because your eyes are mucous membranes, your nose, your mouth, you can get it.
Look.
People are getting frustrated, and for those that don't know, I know here in the DMV, or in DC, there were protests recently, and I was going to bring this up. It's this idea of public safety, and our government having to kind of put their foot down. But I guess my question is, at what point do you draw the line of trying to look out for the public's interest and infringing on people's civic rights?
You never draw the line. You're the government for a reason.
Right, exactly.
And there's no line.
We're also a democracy.
Health matters.
There's no
line. Democracy says no, but democracy the democracy says you vote for who you want to put the rules in place, and you got to follow those rules.
We have constitutional rights.
Okay.
Yes, but
tell
what
you to your body when you're done.
The government supersedes that, right?
It supersedes.
It doesn't. No, nothing.
It should.
Yes, it does. Correct.
Nothing supersedes constitutional rights.
Can I speak? Hold on 1 second. We had the measles outbreak. Hold on. We had a measles outbreak, last year? Remember? There was a whole measles outbreak because people weren't vaccinating their kids. The government can make you vaccinate your child. You know that. And they do. There are some things that democracy doesn't cover. I'm sorry, but people's health matters more.
The government can make you. No.
Oh yes,
so what
they
they can
in
do
New York. So let me finish, please.
No, so what they can do is they can limit you from going to school. Or
No,
they cannot force an injection into your child.
Okay, can I speak?
That's wrong.
Let me finish, please.
Okay.
In New York, have a high population of Jews in New York. And they realized that a lot of them were not vaccinating their children. They were making them vaccinate their kids.
How are they compelling them? Because there are different ways.
Okay,
it's a matter of public safety.
But you say, well, let's pick this constitutional right. You said the right to vote is a constitutional right, but inmates can't vote.
Exactly.
Well, they can now.
Well,
in some states, in Florida they can.
And here they can.
In some states, you got to wait 10 years. In some states, your rights goes away once you get locked up.
That's it. Exactly. There are things around democracy.
Why? Yes, exactly. It's in here for your own.
But the constitutional rights to vote doesn't, like, I think you have to be like a law-abiding citizen. Like they have like language there that makes certain exceptions for certain things.
Now, okay.
I guess so. My question is, if the government decides that, look, everyone has to stay indoors no matter what, or if you come out your door, we'll shoot you. You don't think that's trampling?
Nobody's saying they're shooting.
But let me tell you what they did in Italy.
I'm taking it to the extreme.
Okay, let me tell you what a mayor in Italy did.
There's always going to be a person who's going to.
But let me tell you what a mayor in Italy did this. A mayor in Italy, he said, you know what? Since you guys don't want to leave, I'm declaring a new law saying you can't step on government property. And here's the thing is, the pavements, the roads, they're all government property.
Yep.
So I'm not telling you not to leave your house, but it's illegal now to step on government property.
But that's Italy. That's Italy.
I know what I'm saying. That's what he did.
So, okay, let me tell you.
You can do the same thing here.
No,
right
you can't.
Why can't you do it?
Constitutional right
to step on government property.
So America has the right to.
Well, what about the right-of-ways?
The right-of-ways.
The right-of-way.
That's the right-of-ways. I know what she's talking about. It's a utility term.
No, it's not a utility term.
Well, we use it in the utility industry.
What is that? What's right-of-ways?
What is it?
You can explain it better than me.
It could just be, well, now I don't know how to explain it.
What I was going to say is...
Okay, sorry, go on.
America has, you have a right to religious freedom and to gather in religious places, right? They're arresting pastors. That's your right, but they're arresting you for gathering in churches. There are things that are public safety.
Who have they arrested? Who have they arrested?
That pastor that was trying to do the challenge where you donate all your stimulus checks. He had church 2 weeks ago, was it? They arrested him.
Is that the one in Louisiana?
I think so. He's a white guy. That's all I know.
Yeah.
They arrested him.
Find out what they arrested him for, because he may have broken the law.
For gathering, for having church when they said no churches.
And they let him out.
But
they let him out, right? But they arrested him though.
And he said he had Easter service though, or something.
But that was why they arrested him, because he had Easter service. You're not
supposed to. He said so I guess he said the next week he was gonna go back and have service.
But
like
he didn't,
still wants
because
the government is in place to govern, and you have people in this country who believe this whole, yes, I have rights, but then because you have rights doesn't mean you have to be stupid. You have people going out there saying,
you have the right to be stupid.
So, but it doesn't mean you don't have to be stupid.
Yeah.
Like just because you have the rights doesn't mean you have to do it. And you have people saying, I forget the name of this one guy who's like on one of this Trump news kind of whatever. He's talking about you should go out there. That basically is like we're living under Hitler right now, and that's extreme. Talking about to go to his barber, he has to be covert about it, and you have no freedom and stuff like that. Now, yes, the government hasn't taken away your freedom, but the government is trying to. You look at countries like Brazil, or South American countries, they are burying people at a rate of hundreds a day, and they don't even have the resources to it. The United States is where it is today based on decisions made by the government.
Exactly.
So why are we now drawing this line now that the government wants to also look out for your health? The United States is not a third world country because the
A lot of
government.
countries do not have the same constitutional rights.
Yeah, but the United States, when the government were doing some certain things, I can't really give an example now, but I helped us as a whole. Nobody stopped it because maybe it wasn't directly affecting you at the time, but you were beneficial to it. So, the United States government, Trump forced GM to start building cars in the country. Because he felt it's good for the economy. Why didn't we people fight that?
There's something in the Constitution that gives him the ability to do that. It's
Okay, but they didn't have to do it. They were fine with it before.
He didn't have to, but that's what I'm saying. There is something in the Constitution.
So is it everything we have to say? Okay, because
there's a name for it. The something amendment is where he can pretty much compel any company.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
it can. It can is the word. So, but he's doing so. He make that decision now. You people who were getting jobs from it outside the country, whatever, they've lost their jobs, but you don't care because it's not in your field. You don't care. You let it do it. So now that he wants to say, as a government, I'm invoking certain rights also, certain laws. Everybody's saying, oh no, now that it's affecting me personally, this is where I want to pull out my constitutional card. And everyone is saying, oh, no one is saying no, go outside. But we understand that the rate at which this thing will spread when you go outside is much more than if you stay in your house. And to be honest, people just don't like being told what to do.
Exactly.
They have a reason. That's just what it is. They don't like being told what to do.
Americans don't like the idea of being in love.
And it's not about being patriotism. You go and the thing I don't like about it, and that's why I always say I don't like the left, the right, because it's like the two things, the way people do these things, like the video of the doctors and scrubs with the mask standing in front of a freaking truck with rednecks wearing.
Yeah.
That's like the worst of America. First of all, dude, you're doing the most. Like, why are you standing in front of them? If they want to go kill themselves, let them go kill themselves. Like, why are you trying to make a statement by standing there in your scrubs, trying to show solidarity that, oh, look at it, I'm a doctor, I'm trying to help, and these people don't want to listen.
No,
you on the other side.
Okay, so
but you on the other side, why are you feeling? Huh?
Let me play devil's advocate there. Some people would say it's because as a doctor, he is the one that's going to have to treat people.
Okay, but yes, as a doctor, you have to. But it's also a political statement for you to stand there in that manner and stand and they're going to use it. Democrats are going to use that. But on the flip side, you have the other people who like, why do you have to put on your USA shirt? Nigga, when last did you wear that shirt, man? Why do you have to put on that shirt, carry your flag, and then drive and start saying stuff like your
and
rights
holding guns?
Yeah, why? What does that have to do exactly? It has nothing to do with the virus.
It makes him just look more aggressive.
It does. And this whole freedom thing is like, you are free.
And we can't. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah.
I brought this up is because we're getting to a point now where people are getting frustrated. And I'm starting to see it boil over. Now, some states are starting to respond by slowly opening things back up. Some other states are not having it. Like the state of Michigan, for instance, the Michigan governor, she had like some wild rules. Like you can't hop on your boat or something, or you can't get on your boat or something like that. Like she had like some really, really strict rules. So what's going on now is people are starting to get really frustrated. And my fear is that it's getting to a point where there might be some level of anarchy in some places that are being locked down, because it's not just about their rights. Also, it's about, they feel like they can't pursue economic interests. They can't make money, and they feel like being stuck indoors. Now, I'm not taking one side or the other, but I think this is something that in the next couple of weeks, we're going to start seeing.
Yeah, okay. So you said, all right, let's talk about the lady who's in her, you see like Florida, when they started to open some of the beaches, you see some people saying, oh, we live on the beach and we've been looking at it for months and we're so happy to finally be on it. That's a luxury. It's not anything essential in your life. It's a luxury.
Right, exactly.
You want to be on the beach. You saying you can't go out. Now, let's talk about jobs. Yes, people losing jobs left, right, and center. But we live in an economy that is even providing for you to
relief.
Right.
They are.
But that money is not going to be enough.
Wait, a lot of people, that money for who? To be honest, as an adult, you should actually have enough money to survive 6-7 months without a job. You shouldn't lose your job.
Yeah, but the average American doesn't.
Yes, but you look. So would you rather your life or your paycheck? Now they're giving. It's depending on where you live. You can get as low as $1,200 a week to $1,800.
A week?
A week.
But they would rather risk their lives because
they
that's how
added,
started in the first place, right?
They
Because
added,
somebody
it's a
got
week,
sick and
Corey,
they
because
went
they've
to
added a
work.
new relief where they're giving us an extra 1,000 a week.
It's
what states are
$600.
Adding it, sorry, 600 a week. I'm sorry.
$600.
So
So for
depending
some
on
people,
what
it
your
might be.
state gives you, I looked up like a state like Alabama. Their maximum you can make is $200 a week.
But everyone's not
But then,
eligible.
If
So
you
remember
lose your
that.
job, if you lose your job,
No, but you have to understand too that unemployment benefits are based off of your previous quarter. So let's say they didn't work, or maybe they didn't earn enough money to qualify. So you have a lot of people who are out of work who are not going to get that money at all.
Go look at a lot of these things that have been bypassed for now. I don't know how far.
I can say here deep, locally, I know that it hasn't.
I don't know how deep.
Still haven't got checked.
Okay, so give me an example. So you say someone who didn't make enough.
Right. So you have to make the base of the wage, whatever that is for here locally. So in order for you just to qualify, let's say at the least, let's say it's
$50 a week in Maryland.
So yeah, let's say you make that's the least.
Yes.
You made enough just to get $50 a week, and then you get $600 extra.
Yes, so $650.
So that's that.
Aren't you better off at that
rent?
point? But if you're getting 50, it means you were making a job that was paying probably minimum wage.
Or maybe they were getting tips. Maybe they were a server, they're making more. But they can't account for that because they only count up until enough to pay your taxes. And so the rest of it they get to take home.
So they might be, and I think they're different. I know a guy who lives somewhere in the state who's an Uber driver, and he told me they finally found ways for them to get reliefs.
So
their work, it's not perfect, but they're trying.
So we're running low on time. I want us to table this because I just think it's something for us to think about in the next couple of weeks. Hopefully things don't escalate, but in the event things escalate, I think this is something that people are going to start getting worried about.
Corey, let me just put it how I said. Lastly, look, it's not perfect. You know, I looked at, for instance, probably all of us in here, however much we make, I can tell you the maximum money they would give is not going to be enough to what we make. But I tell you that it's better than if I was in Nigeria.
For some other people, though.
For some other people are going to make more money during this period.
Yeah.
But I tell you that.
My thing is, I'd rather be alive.
Exactly is what I'm saying. So I'm telling you that at that point, would I rather be making money and go spend it in hell or heaven, or would I rather be alive? And this is not something. You see, the understanding behind this thing is anyone who doesn't want to stay indoors is because they don't believe in this thing. And it's sad, but when you look at footage of different countries and you see how, I forget the country, they're starting to leave dead bodies on the road because the cemeteries are closed. They don't have space. So they have lines of, I'll send you guys a video. They have lines of cars that have been lining up for days to bury someone. Some family had to leave the dead person in the living room and they went to go sleep outside because the house smelled so bad.
Italy had that at one point.
But so some people here don't have that privilege, and so they rather risk it. And
yes, but then
I think if you and die.
But if you know how deadly this is,
so the question is, do you have a right? Do you have a right?
Luxury.
Do you have a right to die?
Yes.
I think you do.
Well, yeah, I guess, but not at my expense.
But that's the thing. At whose expense is it going to be?
Not at my expense.
So, because and here's also another problem is if they say go to work. So if they say everybody go back to normal.
It's a matter of public safety.
Yeah. So if you say everybody go back to normal.
Everything else.
Corey, would you go back to work?
I can understand why.
Would you go back to work if they released?
Go back to work, especially with a lot of factors, especially what's going on right now. Even the most recent article that's gone out, a lot of people are not getting the help. A lot of small businesses are not getting the help.
Yes, I understand, Danny. But if they told you to go back to work,
go back to work.
If they said if you want to go back to work, you can go back to work, and if you don't want to stay home, don't you think that would also be another issue? Because if you feel like I'm not ready to go outside, but your job is like, well, XYZ is coming in, so you better get your ass in. What happens now? You have to go outside to get to work, and now you're being exposed to these viruses out there. And now these people know. You're hearing people say, let's open up schools, and there'll be a casualty percentage, a small mortality rate of 1 to 2%. And I think
2 to 3, he said.
He said, and I think people will be fine with that.
2 to 3% of kids is not fine.
Of kids. Come on.
Come on.
It's a tough one. It's a tough
one. It is. I understand why you have to go out, but come on. At this point, I just think the government needs to work faster. That's all.
We should table this. I think we should finish this discussion later in the weekend. I don't have anything. Well, I have a bunch of other things, but we don't have the time because, you know, we're having these short Zoom sessions now. But I do want to thank you all for coming on here. I think we should table that discussion. And before I go, remember, please don't forget to follow us on Instagram. We're smiling_sufferer. We're on Facebook, Smiling Sufferer. We're on Twitter @SmilingPod. And we're on YouTube. Please don't forget to subscribe to our page. It's down there. See, over there, down there. Click the subscribe button.
Yeah, move on, Joe.
And
this is down there.
Wale, lastly, can you let us out with the outro song? You guys are not gonna hear it. I'm just gonna play.
Outro song. Since we're talking about Buju, it's another Buju song. It's called 0903. It's featuring
0903.
Yeah, some of the guys on it.
Yo, this better be good, though.
Emo.
This better be good because this is going on the Apple playlist. That's on Apple
I like Buju, man.
Right now.
It's a slow song. Since you're all in your Teddy Riley feelings, man, I give you a slow song, man.
All right, guys.
I wanted them Teddy Riley feeling.
Thanks for coming.
All right, bye guys. Stay safe and stay inside.
All right.
I'm going
you have
outside.
right. This one, she's going out. You have a right to die. So.
She looks like she's about to go to the club or something.
As in, she got makeup
makeup and
on,
the
everything with the little. It's okay. All right.
I'm going to somewhere else.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.